So this video is going to be so much more than what's on the thumbnail. Surprise, surprise. So I was really kind of shocked that on season 9, episode 12, I try to put the seasons and episodes in my videos, so if you guys haven't seen it, you can find them. But Brock Davies basically says that he wants to ask Scheana to marry him, and he has this idea of doing like an engagement / wedding kind of thing. So like basically ask her to marry her and marry her in the same moment. And he picks out this 8 to 10 carat morganite ring, and he's like, wow, that, kind of makes it like that's a lot, like 8 to 10 carats, right? And I think he was like hoping that no one would Google it, right? Which is never happening in Bravo's world, right? So anyway, the ring is only $3,200. I mean, that's what they go for. I mean, they range $2,800 to like $3,200 on the high end. So I was kind of like, why is he coming off like he's sort of trying to be a player, but he's not at all being a player with that ring. And he probably even got a discount because they featured it on TV. So, and by the way, he was like, they were like promoting it. So like you know what I mean? Like, so I'm not totally buying this engagement because I'm kind of like, there's no skin in this game really. And so it's come out now, by the way, that they met at an after party in San Diego after a music festival. And, he wasn't willing, like he invited her to come to Australia, but he wasn't willing to pay for her to come. And he said he didn't know who she was. He thought she was just an influencer. And he was pursuing her. Not that hard. Like he made her buy her plane ticket to Australia to go visit him. And he invited her. So like they were dating long distance, I guess, and he invited her to Australia, and then he was like, but didn't pay for the ticket. So I'm just getting like really strange vibes off him. I don't know about you guys, but there's just something so off about him. And he said on a podcast recently, it was Tap In with Harry Jowson. It's just all coming off as really fake to me. And then he said that she was his unicorn because she buys everything herself and she pays all of her own things. So he put a ring on her finger because she was willing to pay for everything herself. I'm like, okay, what about you? Because he seems kind of like a freeloader, no? I'm like, what? It's like, I feel like Scheana's supporting him in so many ways. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of like, what is happening here? Okay, hold on.
So maybe you should have a different criteria for your girl being a unicorn than she pays her way. I'm going to lose this filter because I hate voice changers.
So now they've gone public and said they're getting married in Bali, and they're not getting married anymore on the show, because it came out this week on the episode 12 that Brock somehow expected Lala and Randall to basically front the money for the wedding, this like engagement wedding he was going to do, and then I guess he was going to pay them back. But then Lala said, I want a credit card. I'll just put it on your credit card. We don't need to front the money. And Brock never offered the credit card. And he actually never did it on the show. So even though he was supposed to ask Scheana to marry him and then get married on the show, he never does it because of that. And so anyway, now that's what their new public story is. And he gets really shady to Lala. I mean, I think Lala was right. Like, why should she front Brock's wedding? It's not just that he's cheap and he doesn't pay his, or didn't pay his kids' child support, but it's also that he's cheesy. It drives me crazy how cheesy he is. Like his tight pants with no socks and loafers. Like it just devastates me every time I have to see him. And he stuffs himself into clothing. It's like not his size, and just really hard for me. I can only imagine how Scheana feels. She probably can't even tell him the truth. Yeah, I don't have much faith in this engagement / coming up marriage. I'm wondering if it's going to really happen. Okay, so we'll
November 2019.
So we've got two rare things here. A relationship in LA that's over a month. Yeah. And someone who buys their own flights. That's incredible.
Yeah, I pay for everything myself.
Wow.
I always have.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You lucked out.
It's my unicorn, bro. That's why I put a ring on it.
Oh, shit, I don't even have it on right now.
Trash.
Are you guys getting married next year?
Yes.
We're actually going to get
She
married
doesn't
in
even
Bali,
care about
bro.
the ring.
Really?
That's the truth.
Because what he also didn't say is when we were in Bali, that's when he said I love you for the first time. Yeah.
For a
So we
reason.
figure let's go back there. We'll get married there.
Yeah, where no one can see the quality
We
of the
have one
wedding.
that we want. We just need to see if we can get the date that we want as well. So
Yeah, we have the date.
That's probably smart though, because it's.
we got the venue.
We got the venue on the date.
Oh,
Look at
Oh,
you.
see? Well, here's the
more
thing,
surprises.
right? It's like when it comes to planning, the less she knows, the better. Because once I say
No,
it's
not
done,
when it comes to a wedding.
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
So Scheana goes on to say in this show that the reason the Vanderpump Rules spinoff happened was because Brandi Glanville had drama with Scheana about dating her ex-husband, because Scheana was dating Brandi's ex-husband while Brandi was still with him. And Evolution found out about that drama through both, I guess, Brandi and Lisa Vanderpump. And that was part of the trigger event that made Lisa Vanderpump's Vanderpump Rules happen. And they were going to do a crossover sort of thing. And I think originally Brandi Glanville was maybe supposed to be on Vanderpump Rules too. I know she did a cameo about this on the show, but in a bigger part maybe. So that could explain why they kept Brandi Glanville on Beverly Hills Housewives. And I never knew this.
It's just there's a spin on the storylines that come out. And it's like we said before, it's one version or the other. But it's look, real quickly, I'm not going to pay for my photo shoot or my wedding, from my business account. I said, I spent $400 grand on building it out.
It was your engagement, not the wedding.
So my engagement / wedding was going to cost me a fair amount. It got cancelled because of COVID restrictions. We couldn't get the venue on the time. And then they spun it, and it's coming out this week. It was spun out as if I couldn't afford to do any of this. And she's like, Brock's, I spent so much money.
There's so many scenes where she's saying,
I spent so much money on my homebody brand at a photo shoot and all this shit.
Yeah.
But I can't afford to take care of my wife, which fast forward 6 months to today, turns out she can't afford to take care of her husband. Oh, fiance, T.
Lala.
It's not my problem, mate. Her cookie wasn't the cookie to eat, okay?
Thank you guys so much for listening to Tap In with Harry Jazzy.
What the hell does that even mean?
It is what it is,
It's about Lala and Randall.
Her cookie wasn't the cookie to eat, okay?
Thank you guys so much for listening to Tap In with Harry Jazzy.
Hey, it is what it is, She said some stuff, and I'm not okay with it, Do you take money from your business for your personal life? Never happens. So don't assume that I'm going to take money to afford a nice lifestyle for you from my business's money, because I'll never do that.
Yeah.
Simple. And that's where we're at. That's the best tea you got coming for you.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.
Thank you so much for listening. If you did enjoy this episode, drop.
Okay, just so you know, Brock, what he said in that last minute of this show made no sense. And you're not losing your mind. It didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to anyone who heard that podcast. People reporting on it tried to make it make sense in their reporting, but it's nobody knows what the hell he was talking about. And that's because it's just BS. He didn't want to pay for the engagement, period, the end. He probably thought the show producers were going to pay for it. He probably thought maybe there was a chance of that. And then, Evolution didn't. And Lala's like, well, I'm not paying for it. And Randall's like, well, I'm sure as hell not paying for it. And then Brock was nowhere to be found. No one said he had to do the engagement / wedding on the show. That was something he tried to do. And obviously last minute, because as Lala says on the show, there's only 4 days when he approaches them with this wild idea. So, yeah. Anyway, they still haven't determined if there's going to be another season of Vanderpump Rules, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm very excited for the reunion. I really want to do a live with Up and Adam and Jason on the reunion, because I think it'll be really fun. We love to talk Vanderpump Rules, them and I. So we'll see. I reached out. they're so busy. I hope they can do it. All right, you guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification button. What do you think of Brock Davies? Am I wrong? I kind of like Scheana, but I really, he's the problem. That's just my personal opinion. Please don't let it change yours. Obviously, have your own opinion. I love to read them. And yeah, that's it. So, I forgot the most important thing. Do you think that they'll ever actually get married?